Cindy Durant couldn't make it tonight. She had oral surgery, and so she's excused from the meeting tonight. Motion in the second. Tim makes the motion. Okay, Billy seconds it. All those in favor? Okay, the meeting is started. It's over. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just an opening statement. Last month's board meeting, for many different reasons, was pretty chaotic. I just want to remind everyone, okay, this is the board's meeting. The board has its discussion. If the board wants input from the public, they will indicate that. And then, of course, if you really want to say something, raise your hand. Don't pull it out. Raise your hand, and then we'll see what you want, okay? Because there was just too many people talking, okay, on other subjects than we were trying to talk about. Any questions on that? Next item is approval of the minutes from May 26th.
Another clarification, on the $10,000 where it says for Roger, did it on page 6, number 8B. That's actually, it's supposed to be not Roger, it's supposed to be the highway department.
Yeah, right, highway department. Yes. Thank you for that, Joe. Any other changes, recommendations? I look for a motion in a second in minutes. Tim makes the motion. Billy seconds it. All those in favor? Minutes approved. We have financials. I'm moving to the supervisor's report. We have financials from the month of May. What you have is all of the expenditures, income, okay, as well as deposits and withdrawals, bills paid. Any questions? All right, there's no questions, move on.
I have one question, Ernie.
Sure.
Maybe absolutely nothing. I just didn't know what it was. Let's see if I can find it. There was a credit for, it was in the papers here for, how much was it? 41,694, and it said on the bills, reimbursement for check sent in error. Did we send something out to the wrong department?
Okay, we don't, there was a payment, okay, on one of the machinery in the highway department, all right? And a double payment was made in the past.
Okay.
In 2023, we did not know that, so we paid the bill, and then the company brought it to our attention, all right, that we were all paid up, and so that's why it was sent back.
Okay,
to us.
perfect.
Okay?
Yep.
Next, we have the concessions. It's amazing how low this list is, all right? We have one individual that owes the town, okay, for their lease lot of $250. So, Tricia, okay, our administrative assistant or bookkeeper to the supervisor, she's done an excellent job of calling people, reminding people, okay, and it's been in a very polite way, and it's been very productive and successful. Next item, okay, APA and the South River Road. I had a conversation with Carly Woodhouse, the APA rep. We had a conversation about the wetland violations. Some individuals have said to her, all right, that it would be a hardship financially to correct all of the violations, okay? The general deadline is October 20th of this year that the APA has set down. So the question is, if some progress is made on the wetland violations, okay, are we willing to grant extensions to people? Any questions on that, or?
There has to be an ending date, if you just can't.
I would agree, okay, I would say, in my opinion, if there was an extension, it would just be another, at best, another year.
That's
Okay,
too long.
okay? Well, you gotta remember, okay, once winter sets in, okay, that's not prime time to do this work, okay? So you're really looking at spring, summer, fall, and then spring, summer, fall, okay?
Are some of them really a lot, the violations?
Well, it all depends. Some are relatively minor and some are, people are, and, have major work to do. So it's all over the spectrum.
What happens?
And these individuals, okay, they said this to Carly, okay? It's a financial hardship, okay? Could we have more time? So this came from people speaking to her, and then she spoke to me, so I'm throwing this idea out. Tim?
How many locations do we have that have this already?
It's about 17.
Okay.
17.
So say a person had, it's really extensive, where they filled in, and they're claiming hardship, and they just let their lease go. Is it up to us to clean that up after, since we are the remnant?
The landowners, yes.
That's a possibility. However, if someone lets it go, all right, then we would put that piece of property up for auction, all right, with the understanding, all right, that you would have to clean up the wetland violations. We can make that as a criteria.
Did she express her feelings, should we, if they're hardship, give them more time, or she didn't say?
It was pretty much, I think they're amenable to this, was my feeling to this. You know, you gotta remember that, past administrators, okay, many times said to people, oh, it's okay, go ahead and do it, you know? And so now, we're kind of, as a landlord, we're kind of saying, well, we want to keep this place beautiful. This river and this corridor beautiful. So maybe we need to correct some of these violations, all right? So to me, you know, when you look at the past and how loosey-goosey it was, all right? So maybe granting more time, okay, might be a prudent thing to do, okay, within reason.
But in their contracts, it states what they can and can't do. And everything they did, they do, if they ever read it, that's what was supposed to be done.
And they asked, even though it said you couldn't do it, and then somebody sitting in these offices said, go ahead and do it. So that's kind of a fact of life.
All this filling in there the year or so ago, it could have all been stopped. One drive up that road by the code enforcement. He could have saw all this and said, hey, this isn't allowed. Nothing, it was allowed.
Who monitors that now? So we don't, going forward, this doesn't happen. Is the zoning officer supposed to do that?
Yeah,
or-
I would say that.
Okay.
Working with the APA, the code officer. As well as then observations by any other town official. Maybe in the future, we would have to look at maybe a yearly inspection. If that would be part of it. You want more time to think about this? We don't have to decide tonight.
Well, you just said that in some ways, our administration said it's okay. And people now have a severe cost. I have nothing against extending it a year. Or whatever it is, we decide to do it, but in order to spread the payments over time.
One of the costs, okay, is the type of grass or vegetation that has been required, okay, to be thrown in, okay? And I'm told that this is very expensive. The grass seed or the vegetation seed that they're looking at. Yes,
So many of these people have filled in wetlands, but what about the remnants of the storm that we had in 2024 in August that took out some parts of property and washed gravel and sand into the wetland? I mean, that was not done on purpose by the landowner or the lease owner, I guess.
I would say, what did the APA say about that?
Well, they're just throwing the blanket on everything. Well, there was stone and sand on the edge of the wetland and it got washed in, so, you know.
You'd have to argue that with the APA.
I have. And they're quite frankly telling me that the town should have helped out in some way of making that property whole. And the reason why the property washed out is because of the poor maintenance of the Shanley Creek and the drainage under the South River Road. And it's still like that today. And for 5 inches of rain to head to the river, when the river is already 16, 18, maybe 20 inches over what it should be, halfway up the South River Road, 5 inches of rain has nowhere to go, so it flooded people's property up. And it's going to happen again. We just had 3 major storms in the last month. And I've been asking you about our dam operators who have promised the community when they made their pitch for you to buy the power from them. And they made the promise 2 years ago that they were going to retrofit their spillway gates so that they were more responsive to the weather. And they have not done that.
You're right, nothing's been done.
Nothing, absolutely nothing has been done, and they are still unwilling to open the gates. You know what, and this is all only transpired in the last 4 to 5 years. Because before that, the water level at halfway up the South River Road was anywhere from 6 to maybe 8 inches on the seawall there. Now, yesterday, it was 24 inches. So now you're talking a lot of water. And certainly at this point in time, when you start opening the gates, now you're gonna flood the campground. Which certainly you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, but if you would have equalized that a month ago, it would have absorbed all that rain that we had. So they're not being good stewards of the shoreline. Now, do we have to organize a shoreline owners association in order to, you know, get some kind of reprieve here from what they're doing? You know, or you need to cancel their contract that you have with them because you have not realized very much savings from the electricity.
Which we could do, okay, if the town board decides to do so. We could negate.
So, but they have not been good neighbors. And I would like to get from you the actual name of their, because they are a private company, correct? So they have a name and they have a, you know, a listing somehow.
I'll gladly provide that for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I mean, I've already spent cleaning up my lots that I lease. You know, I've already spent $1,500 in making it back to where it was. And I have not yet finished. And I had a permit from the town and I had a permit from the APA. On what the work that I'm going to do. And I'm really taken aback by the letter that you sent me, only stating what the APA stated. You could have put in that letter that you sent to me that the property had been flooded because of the August 2024 storm. And that it was not, you know, something that was, you know, personally done by the property lease or leaser or whatever you want to say. You know, for you to just paint a broad brush saying you filled in a wetland, you know, we couldn't revoke your lease. I was very insulted by that, Ernie. You know, I've leased that property for 16 years now, and I think I've been a more than good steward.
I think what you gotta recognize, weather patterns have changed.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're gonna have more of these violent storms, right? And the river can only hold so much water, and then it goes over its banks.
Correct.
Okay? And everything below where your vehicles are, it's a floodplain. It's a floodplain, okay? It will flood continuously. And there's nothing you can do about it.
It
Because
did
it's a
for
floodplain.
13 or 14 years.
Because we had mild rainstorms.
When did they add on to the top of the dam? You must know that, Billy.
Yeah, when they went back, I'm trying to think how far back that was.
I mean, that was after they got their license from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. They put on that,
top, yeah. But they must have to answer to somebody.
well, sure, yeah,
I mean.
in your license, if you read it, shoreline management is part of it. And they're not doing any shoreline management.
Yeah, I know, and
I mean, you don't have hardly any beach right now, do you?
The water's high, there's no doubt about it.
Right, and it didn't need to be. It doesn't need to be that high.
And you're right, I know people's houses that got flooded up there.
Yeah, exactly.
They went down and talked to him, and he was very rude. Yeah, if you don't like it, get out of there. And I always wondered, try to look into to see. There's gotta be somebody they gotta answer to. They can't just let everybody out and not answer to them.
Well, I mean, it's a give and take here, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when they made the promise. I was here at that meeting, they made the promise that they were gonna make their spillway gates more easier to control with the weather.
I understand about what you're saying, is if you go up there and look and see where that washed out, how come, they're not sending anything to the state where all that rock is over on the state line? That's okay for it to go there, but
Yeah.
you gotta clean it off yours.
Yeah.
I went up and checked it out after you
I
said
know you
that.
did.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's it, Ernie, I guess.
I'm gonna say this, okay? What you gotta remember, the sheer volume of water that comes down this river. It starts with Meacham Lake, and then it goes into a huge arc all the way to the St. Regis Ponds. And the lake's there. And then it all comes down the Central Branch and down the East Branch, and then they're connected, okay, below Santa Clara. So this huge volume of water, okay, comes down when there's hard rainstorms or multiple, like we have here, 3 multiple storms, all right? And then you have this little narrow gap here where it's all trying to move through. And I think sometimes, okay, you're gonna get flooded, okay? You're gonna get flooded because the sheer volume of water is coming down and we can't control it.
Yeah, but it shouldn't last for a month.
The water levels have been high. Had the rain, but it doesn't look like they're allowing more water to flow through the dam in order to compensate for the additional water.
And if they would have done that a month ago, at least equalize that a little bit. I mean, it doesn't allow them at Paul Smith's to just take one of their gates out and let it flow. You know. The DEC needs to be involved here. I really, you know, and, you know.
I'll provide you with the name of the corporation and the contact. They have merged.
Because, I mean, the only next step for the town, I mean, this is town-owned property too. I mean, this is, you know, something, I mean, do we have to get a lawyer to hold their feet to the fire like they said they would?
I'll provide you, okay, with a contact person, give you a call.
Thank you.
Maybe you should call them too, or you should call and ask them what's going on, or whoever they are now.
Well, it was supposed to a month ago.
They never got anything back.
I'm not even sure where they're out of, or
I
takes
got
care of
the new name of the corporation and the heads, okay, I have that, okay. I received an email.
so are the Smiths right out of it, are they now? Ever in the sun?
No, okay. The bigger corporation that bought them out, okay, the son, okay, will be the contact person because he's one of the managers for the company, the new company.
Oh, I did not know that.
I know they got bought out, it was online and in the papers and everything. I don't know, is Ever gone now? Right out of the scene, is Ever still?
I think he still plays a role, okay? to some degree. So back to our original question, okay? Extension. Tim said yes.
I want to know what the time frame is, and the people that ask for attention, ask for an extension, they need to give you a plan of attack, what they're going to do and when, on paper.
All right, we'll draw something up, okay? And we'll look at it next week, next month.
If you wanna know, I'm one of the guys that asked for an extension. It's gonna cost me $15,000 to take that out. I ain't got it. I took the land from the guy that built a new house. He dug a position, dug a wall out, had wet soil, needed a place to dump it. Told him go right ahead because the town hall told me I could. Then I found out I couldn't do it. I signed my lease 20 years ago and it doesn't say anything about IPA on it. I haven't seen a lease since.
Who from the town told you you could dump it there, do you remember?
Huh?
Who from the town told you to dump it?
All three of them. Mike Bailey told me okay. Chad told me okay. Ernie told me okay. The guy that goes around inspecting everything, he's the one that suggested I fill it in. It was full of mosquitoes. So everybody told me go ahead. Now I gotta pay $15,000 to take it out. And you can't run equipment in the back. You have to do it from the roadside. That's why the EPA stipulated that letter. You have to do it from the roadside and take it towards the road. I shoveled it in there. There's no way in hell I'm taking it out. But again, that was all brought up. The original thing was Ernie was supposed to be there with him. He wasn't. It was you and Hudson. Everybody walked around my backyard. Now all of a sudden I gotta take it out.
Well, I've been fighting with everybody up there for years, and technically speaking, you're only 50 feet from the center of that road.
That's what the lease says now. Yeah, my original lease didn't say that.
Well,
It was 100 feet.
100 feet
Right.
long, 100 feet
long.
wide, 50 feet
Road.
each side of the center of the road.
But I don't have the other side because that's public property. That's
No,
somebody
no,
else's property. That farm is right there.
that farm is right there. The town has a right of way from 50 feet in the center of that road. That's where they run their water lines down.
Okay, well, the whole thing is, I got told yes by 6 different people and now I can't do it. And I can't afford it, so I'm one of the ones that everybody's bitching about. But I thought I was helping a person out down the road because he was digging a brand new place. And I brought up the thing, why can't we buy our properties? Well, we can't, I guess.
And I know it is. Somebody told you, different lots up to there, they did the same thing. They told them, yeah, you can go out back, and all of a sudden the guy had it surveyed and they were on his property and get off, you know? You're right. Somebody told you, they were wrong in telling you that.
But it's okay, I'll deal with it. This isn't the place for it either, but I'm just answering this question, why does everybody want extensions? 15,000 is a lot for me to come up with this year.
Anybody, you're absolutely right.
Well, the APA even told me, you better farm, sell your cow. That's exactly what the lady told me,
What'd you say?
sell your cow.
One gentleman actually stepped down from the APA.
Well, Tim made a motion. I'll second it to extend it.
It's gonna be a rough situation for a lot of people.
Okay,
So motion, was there a date on that, or is it just me to extend it?
well,
Send it.
we're gonna create a formula, okay? So that people submit a plan if they want an extension.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're agreeing to an extension, but we're gonna define it, okay? Within parameters for the next board meeting. So all those in favor of the tentative plan? All right, motion passes. So do you have what you need, Joe? All right, very good. All right, the AFR 2024, okay? Before this week's out, Danielle Susie's gonna submit, okay? The latest AFR to the controller's office by the end of this week. So that'll be a good thing when that's submitted, all right? And when they accept it, then we'll be working on 2025. So we're getting closer and closer to getting caught up. FEMA, okay, we're continuing to supply FEMA with information on the Shanley Road and the Lake Azonia Road. They want greater clarification as to the repairs that were made on those two roads. So we're busy working with them. Any questions? All right, next, St. Regis Falls Scenic Campsite update. This June 13th holiday really was a big booster to the campsite, okay? All of the cabins, except for two, one was being repaired, the other one was vacant. All of the camp, except for those two, the campsite was full in terms of the cabins. And then, of course, we had some recreational vehicles come in. But the camp, even though it was lousy weather, we had a lot of campers. And that's always a good thing. I want to thank Bill Goodrow, okay, for all of his assistance, his volunteering in the campsite, repairing bathrooms and floors and walls, okay? So your hard work is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Tim had an idea, all right, about an online registration system, so you asked me to put that on the agenda.
Yeah, at some point, it was full now. I don't know how it is through the entire year. And I think it would just be easier for people to sign up, know what cabins are free, and be able to actually pay them online and.
Right, register and pay
Yep.
online, so. So maybe as we prepare next year's budget, we should look at options on that.
Yep.
Okay? I think it's a merit and it moves us into the 21st century. Security cameras. But let's back up. All right, so we have an individual, we're still on the campground. A former resident of St. Regis Falls, Raven Cologne. I guess he's getting out of the military and he wants to work on the trails, okay, around the campsite. So he's looking, so I'm planning a meeting with him so that we can organize a volunteer group to work, okay, on improving the trails. We also might look at tearing down the last part of the bridge, all right, if we think we can swing that. So hopefully we can organize a group of people to do volunteer work on our trails. It's nice to see a citizen who's willing to help us improve our community. All right, security cameras. Okay, you have an email from Chuck. Where are we with the cameras? We still do not have access to the cameras. We want to make sure they're working to our satisfaction before we pay for them. How about a face-to-face meeting? He responds, sounds good. We only have the water treatment plant left to figure out, the one by the beach. We either need to get permission to bury a line from the building to the road, or if we can't do that, we'll lay the wires on the ground in the woods.
And the only problem with running wires in the wood, and I've done an island, actually dry island out in Saranac Lake, is a lot of the animals like the black coating, and they will chew right through it.
Right, exactly. Roger and I talked about this proposal, all right? It's ludicrous, all right? One, because the road from the beach house to go to the water pump station, all right, you've got river right along the side of the road, and then you've got a culvert that's there, so that's not gonna work. And Lane, you're right, Tim, you don't lay, it's gonna get damaged. Trees, okay, branches could fall on that line, and it's gonna get damaged, plus what the animals might do to it.
Couldn't they do a wireless bridge? And that's what originally, before they did it, that was what I would have done, is run a wireless bridge from wherever the main site is down to the.
The issue is we're probably gonna have to cut, a line of trees, okay, so that line of sight.
There's no line of sight to it, okay.
There's no line of sight to it. We'd have to cut, numerous trees to make that site. Roger and I talked about this, we're gonna counter, okay, with, Roger says he's gotta get permission and put the lines on poles and then he can get it up in there. Cause there's electrical lines that take it up to the plant, okay, from the South River Road. So we're gonna counter with him on that. So that's our continuing saga, okay, and the security cameras.
While you're on that, about the security and the, I had an individual has a company and he's interested in, buying some equipment to put down at the beach. His company is, something like that, climbing thing we got. But they were just curious, would the security cameras cover, he said they don't want to put some money into something at the campsite, or at the beach if there's no security, they can just destroy it.
There's cameras there.
That's what I thought there was.
There's cameras there, okay? What we gotta do is extend it from there up to the pump house.
Okay.
All right, in your board packet is an update on what we're paying for electricity, all right? Things have somewhat slowed down during the summer, and we kind of expected that. But we're still paying a high price for electricity. It hasn't really gone away.
I wanna say, we had a problem with about some lights in one of the buildings, and I wanna thank Ralph and Linnell, they've been going over and making sure that they're shut off and everything when they shouldn't be, and it's come a long way from the issue we had with people just wanting to leave them on. They've done a good job making sure they're off.
That's certainly appreciated, the efforts, since the town picks up the bill. However, it really comes down to the actions of, irresponsible actions of one individual.
Yeah.
All right, we received official notice that the school district is out of the bus garage at the end of this, fiscal year, which is June 30th of this year is the last day. And what we're looking at is what should the town do, okay, with this vacant area? And it's my opinion that we, okay, put it out and try to find someone else to lease it. This is a loss to the town of $27,000, all right, in revenue. So we should try at least to find a new tenant, okay, that would maybe pay us, make a payment to us. At least try to do that. And I'd like a motion from, it's not part of the action items, but if the board is comfortable with that, we have a motion that we could do that.
To find someone else, is that what you're?
Right, to put it out to the public, okay?
Are we going to fix it up so it's, I mean, because right now it's not, it doesn't have a toilet, it still leaks, it's open to the air. Unless we sink some money into it, I don't see anybody I mean, I don't mind going out and looking for it, but the reason that the school left was the conditions were horrible. So if you're going to get another tenant in there, it behoove us to fix it before we try to get somebody in there.
I think you're right about that, for sure. Which leads us to an action item, okay, is Tisdale Associates, okay, has presented us with a contract, okay, to design and repair the sewer issues in water. So we want to move forward with that contract.
I don't think it hurt just to put some feelers out there, see if there's anybody interested, and let them know the status of the building and what's going to be done and what's going to be fixed. Try somebody who's even interested in it.
Right. So we'll solicit interest with the understanding we're gonna make repairs.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes,
Do you have to have a bathroom in a bus garage? Like, I don't understand, like, if it's just storing the buses, like, do you have to, can you just take out the whole bathroom, or,
They work there. That's their office.
they drive the buses, that's their job, right? I mean,
That's where the bus was before, is where they work during the day doing the repairs and everything. You need to have a bathroom. It's not something you can exclude out.
I didn't realize they did repairs on that. Like, we have a mechanic that does repairs on the
Yeah,
buses.
they have mechanics, they have people, so it's full-time bus drivers. Some districts, school districts only hire the bus drivers for when they drive the bus.
Right,
This district hires the bus drivers when they work all day. So when they're not driving the buses, they're repairing, fixing, and getting stuff like that done.
Clean.
yeah, the buses are washed, okay, on top and underneath.
Yep.
That's one of the chores that has to be done.
Don't someone.
So there's always been a bathroom on the bus garage side, and direct on the other side of the wall was for the
Oh,
highway.
they do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's two separate.
And the whole system is linked, okay? I need a motion. Jim,
Solicit, is every.
solicit interest with the understanding we make repairs.
Repairs, yes.
The other seconds it? All those in favor? All right, we'll look for a tenant and do repairs. Plus, later on, we have the contract with Tisdale to do an engineering plan to improve, okay,
Fix it, yeah.
to fix the issues there, particularly with the sewage.
Andrew, yeah.
All right, moving on, grant writing with Mazellas Association. The Waverly Engineering Plan for $50,000 has been submitted to the state of New York on June 11th of this year. We have an email in your packet, all right, that we will anticipate that the awards will be announced in the late fall or early winter. So we're moving forward, okay, with a planning grant, which I think is a very important point. I'd like to recognize, part of the grant was to go out to the community and ask for letters of support. We received it, Denise sent one from the school district. Fire department gave us a letter. The ambulance squad gave us a letter. The St. Regis Falls Adult Center gave us a letter. The American Legion gave us a letter. All right. Assemblyman Michael Cashman gave us a letter. And Roger Hartson, as highway superintendent, gave us a letter. There were others, which remain nameless, okay, that are on my list because I asked for letters and I didn't get it, okay, so, which is unfortunate. But things happen. Maybe next time they'll be supported. the next grant will be, okay, to get a planning grant for water. It's the next one. Will be submitted before the end of this year. Beach house repairs. This has been, okay, pretty much, a nightmare. So way back in November 11th of 2025, okay, a delivery truck, okay, slid off the South River Road and hit the corner of the beach house. And so we need to get it repaired. It is a small job, I guess, in the contracting world, but it's been a bear. So the approach was, I used a free trader to solicit bids. And on page 2 of the April 30th, okay, newspaper, it says, bid notice, the town of Waverly is seeking bids to repair a concrete block corner of the beach house located at 39 South River Road in St. Regis Falls, New York. For more details, contact Mr. Kowski, town supervisor, at my phone number, submit sealed bids to the town office by May 26th of 2026. And it was run the whole month in the free trader. And I used the free trader because the price is right. It costs the town nothing to do this. So unfortunately, all right, there were no bids by the deadline. So I started to reach out because I didn't have bids. And I actually I got a copy of the St. Lawrence County Free Trader, and I didn't see much, okay, in the Franklin County issue. So I found masons, okay, who were advertising. So I called them up, all right? So I had 3 different parties come and look at the damage, all right? And they submitted bids, okay? One bid was outrageous, it was $6,000, all right? So that bid was rejected. The next bid, which was the only bid, was a Max Masonry from Potsdam, New York, for $4,800. And I actually signed a contract with him because the third party hadn't given me a bid. So I acted on the first 2, all right? So the day this company was supposed to show up, I call up, oh, I have truck problems, all right? When we fix them, I'll let you know we're on my way. Nobody called Monday. I called Tuesday, nobody called back. Wednesday, okay. Nobody came, nobody answered my phone call or text. Thursday, I said, if I don't hear from you, I'm canceling your contract, which I did. Meanwhile, the third individual submitted, okay, a bid of $3,500. So he started work on the wall today for $3,500. So that's it in a nutshell.
I went down and looked at it. I hope things improve tomorrow.
Oh yeah, they didn't finish.
No, I know he didn't finish, but I hope his plan is right to come back and take the blockway back. One spot with the block, instead of trying to take that out, he just cut a groove in the middle of it and he figures he's gonna mortar that in. No. The block's gotta come out. They're moved, the wall's gonna be back straight. So, but I'll be around, I'll go down and see him. Yes, I see him like I said, like I told you earlier, I've done that type of work numerous times, and it's not a big job. I think it's kind of crazy the price they get, but they want, but I'll go down and check because there's no way I would say to pay him if it continues the way he's doing it right now. Your thing stated that all the blocks that were cracked needed to be removed and remortared in. But I'll keep, maybe tomorrow will be a better day and he'll do it right. I wasn't too impressed with what I saw today.
The issue is, okay, I didn't have a million choices.
I know you did, and no, it ain't nothing to do with you, it's them, and
All right, a while ago, moving on, okay, we talked about maybe deactivating certain streetlights in order to, okay, contain costs. So I asked Corey Hayes to, look at possible. So Corey gave us an extensive list of possible poles that we can deactivate. Of course, okay, if we direct National Grid to do this, they're gonna charge us, okay, to deactivate, all right? There's a charge. But in the long run, once you deactivate, there'll be cost containment, because you won't be using electricity. So did everybody find that list?
Yeah.
So thank you for doing this, Corey.
You're welcome.
Since I think this could be an issue in our community, that maybe I would ask for a committee, okay, to look at all of these pole sites and decide whether or not, all right, we want to go this far, okay, or there might be other concerns. Did you have a problem with that? If the committee looked at these?
No, in fact, what I did is I drove around at night to see at the intersections and each street where it would be viable and safe and risk management wise to implement that action plan as proposed. And so this is the best opportunity for people to understand where the logic came from and why we're doing it this way.
Is there an estimate of how much each light being turned off would save the town? Or do you know how much a lamp is burning for electricity?
I'm sure if we asked National Grid to do that, they would tell us, okay?
Comparing it to the turning off cost. and
Right.
determining this.
Well, I can't remember the lady's name that I spoke with. Yes, there's the upfront cost to turn it off, okay? But in the long run, because you're not using electricity, there'll be a cost saving.
Have any of the streetlights been turned over to the lower energy burning lamps?
Yes,
Yeah.
we signed that contract, okay? And so they have their money, and they're gonna tell us when they're ready to do the work.
So it hasn't been done yet.
It hasn't been done yet. But the contract has been signed and we paid for it
How long?
2 months ago, maybe.
Ernie?
Yes.
Last month before Dennis Plouffe's brother Frank moved back to California, they were up on High Street doing an audit, going street by street for each pole, denoting where they would be currently upgraded to the new LED from the current inefficient bulbs. So that's in the process, that they were doing that audit, they had a girl going around doing that.
Right, good. So then they're working on it.
So if we were to shut these off, or any of these ones, they're going to upgrade to LED?
They've all be, the whole system right now, the way they're going around, everything will be upgraded to LED.
What I'm saying is the ones we're going to decommission, it'd be kind of a waste of money to upgrade them to LED.
No,
then.
this is the point, we want to get that
Okay.
deactivated before that upgrade would
Perfect.
go into effect.
Would they they already get paid for all of the streetlights that are already listed?
I don't know, let's,
Like, they're
he
gonna-
sends the bill.
It's quite a bit cheaper for the LEDs, right? So, I mean, that's gonna help.
Now, we don't have to if we think we're saving money, we don't have to deactivate any light. But it's something that we discussed, or we were looking at it.
Right.
And check with the highway, the state highway lane warrant, make sure that's feasible.
Yes.
Yes.
You did talk to, Robbie Haynes, did you?
No.
Spoke to my brother who was employed with the DOT. He said you have to get permission to shut down any streetlights. Each road is classified for a certain light and number of streetlights.
Right.
And I mentioned Ernie's, he said something about yours across the road.
Yeah.
He said that one was there because that bridge is there. There's a walkway in the bridge, and he said that one cannot be shut off. And he said you have to get permission from New York State to shut any streetlights off.
That would be only on 458.
He said
I
any
think-
streetlights in town. He said every street is classified differently for streetlights and lighting.
That's the highway warrant.
Because you have sidewalks and people are walking at night. So he just said he would recommend me telling you to call Robbie Haynes and he'll tell you what to do as far as shutting streetlights off.
I will do that then, okay?
I can tell you what I was told.
Right underneath the status.
Could you speak up, what was that?
It's right underneath the DOT website,
Good, thank you.
the highway warrant.
Thank you. All right, so moving on to water and sewer, all right, I spent some time doing testing of the water and sewer this weekend, all right, and the ultraviolet system, okay, which sanitizes the water before it runs into the river is working, all right? And the other aspects of the plant, okay, seem to be working. Wade Bastion, okay, who's our DEC supervisor, will be here this Friday to inspect the plant, all right? So, we'll have an evaluation of how that plant's running, okay, from the, okay, after his Friday visit. Unfortunately, all right, let's talk about the lift station, all right, on Spring Street, all right? The electrical storm, okay, affected, okay, the main box for that pump station, all right? And it looks like certain parts of the box is fried, all right? And we're probably gonna have to replace it, all right? So that was unfortunate news, okay, here this morning.
Is that covered under insurance?
We'll put a claim in and we'll see.
So do they have to come and pump it again, do they?
We're gonna try to find a way to do a wire around that so we can pump it out. I'll pump it into the system, okay? If we can't do that, then we're gonna have to get it pumped.
Ernie, under the water, what's the progress on the fire hydrant over there and the ones that are broken down? I mean,
It's on a list, okay, to be repaired, okay? The water department, okay, has it as a project, okay, to repair that fire hydrant, which is right up here on South Main Street. So it's on the list to be repaired.
Any time frame on that, Ernie?
Hopefully by the end of the summer. All right, highway superintendent, all right, very much busy, staging situations because, they'll be paving the roads here, okay, in the next few weeks. So there's a plan to do that, okay? Also, the others, because of all the rain, even though things are in pretty good shape, there's always more erosion, so there's been repairs made where there's too much water, and so you have erosion. So gravel, okay, is moved out of the way, so it has to be replaced. That's the comment for everyone. Everyone good ones? This is something that I've been thinking about over the last few weeks, and I think it's necessary that these things are stated. This is an endorsement of Roger Hudson as the highway superintendent. Roger should be recognized for the excellent job he has done over the last 3.5 years. He has, 1, organized the highway department to become a very efficient team. 2, work with the union to downsize the highway department from 4 to 3 individuals. 3, responsibly work within the boundaries of the highway budget. He constantly shops around to contain costs. He has excellent business skills. He's excellent at that. 4, utilizes the CHIPS program so that the town of Waverly receives the proper reimbursement. 5, replace the equipment within the highway department so that our workers can work in a safe environment. When we came on board in January of 2024, we heard from the highway department how dangerous some of the machines were because they were in such bad shape. And over the time of 3.5 years, those dangerous machines have been eliminated and newer equipment have been brought on board. The other thing that he excels in, and I was shocked that previous highway superintendent did very little of this, maintenance of the machines. All the machines are constantly, inspected, and maintenance is done for safety reasons and for longevity of the equipment. 6, improved our town roads so that our culverts, ditches, and road surfaces are better prepared for extreme weather. And again, that's a constant challenge because the weather is unpredictable. 7, illustrated a willingness to work with the supervisor's office and other departments when asked. 8, fulfilled his responsibilities while his salary is clearly below the standard of pay. 9, routinely traveled our roads very early in the morning to ensure their safety. And I think this is all necessary because we're upset that he's not here. We need to recognize his overall achievements. We need to apologize for our reaction to his absence from board meetings. just too much bashing. We all have differences. The big picture is clearly more important.
I got a problem with a couple of your things, Ernie. Number 7, illustrates a willingness to work with supervisors of the departments. Can't work with the fire department, didn't want to plow in front of it, didn't want to help them out. Major safety issue in the whole town.
The last 3 years.
Now there is, I've never, and I've been one of the biggest, but I've never said anything at this meeting that I haven't gone over there and told him right to his face. I told him, I said, I feel you should be at the meeting. Jack didn't come and it was wrong too. You talk to every other town around. They're here, the highway. People got things they want to say to him. If they go over there, over to the garage to talk to him about it, he won't talk to them. No. That guy sit here and told you he went to Tyler Rock to go and get out of the garage. So, absolutely, I agree with a lot of these things you said here. He's not a people person, and I understand that, but I can't endorse this with 7 and the other one that says, that, nobody, anything I've said about the man, and I've known Roger my whole life, I've said right to his face. I don't go behind anybody's back and talk. If I got something to say, I go right to him. And like you said, I agree with a lot of these, 1, 2, 3, I agree with all that. The town man, we've got a lot of new equipment. Absolutely, he's done wicked with the budget and getting stuff done, but I can't do 7 and the problem about not coming to the meeting. I'll agree to everything else you got on there, but I can't agree to that.
Of course, okay, it's hard to agree. Everybody's got their own perspective and it's hard to agree. But I felt this had to be said, okay? Because we all have our issues and our failings, okay? But the big picture, okay, a lot of things are getting done. And all right, and it isn't perfection on every one of these, but this highway department is in better shape, okay, since he's been on it. When you look at it holistically.
Oh, I agree. Like I said, I agree with everything in there but 7 and the part about not coming in. I disagree with that too. The rest of it is absolutely 100% right. And nothing personal. If he ran and he ran against somebody, I'd vote for him. I really would, but I just think he's, some other issues are, and that's my opinion, and maybe everybody else won't feel that way, but like I said.
Well, you're entitled to.
Yeah, and I would.
Just like I'm entitled to mine.
Yeah.
Okay. But I felt this had to be said, okay? Any other comments? All right, we'll move on. Action items, okay? Possible cuts in 2026 budget. I gave you a new sheet on that.
Didn't we already vote on these already?
Uh,
I think we did last meeting.
well.
We voted to keep them.
But they've been modified, okay? One's been modified, and 3 has been modified, all right? 2 is still the same, okay? Well, we got it. All right, if you don't want to make these cuts, okay, it's gonna be disaster, okay, in November and December. Because there's not gonna be enough money to pay the bills. All right, with Waverly Youth, okay, I've contacted Catholic Charities. So I'm looking at maybe hiring 2 kids from our own budget and then 2 kids from Catholic Charities. However, okay, Catholic Charities, okay, is looking for students, okay, that come from low-income backgrounds, okay? And the lady told me in the past, they had a hard time finding families and kids, okay, with that characteristic, and so sometimes they couldn't fill, okay, the job. So we're looking for 2, but it might work out and it might not. So that basically, that was like $5,000 cut, so the cut is actually, okay, in half. Then you shortened, okay, the housekeeping attendant, okay, to the last day being September 14th. We looked at the unemployment, so you gotta make so much money in one quarter and then more money in the next quarter, all right? And John and I looked at that and we're pretty certain, okay, because it's hard to talk to a human in the Department of Labor, but that this individual would be eligible for unemployment insurance. Then the beach cuts, okay, I dropped the concept of opening the beach from 11 to 6, okay? We'll keep it open 10 to 6, the hours, but I think we should shorten it by a week. Instead of going to the 23rd of August, shut it down on August 16th, and we save almost $2,000. But if you don't want to do it,
The youth program, all you're doing is asking to allow Catholic Charities to look into adding 2 employees,
right, exactly. Okay,
which is, that's fine. I don't have anything against it. We're not cutting anything. We're just trying to let them pay for 2 people.
right, which gives us a savings, okay?
If they can.
If they
If
can,
they can, yeah, yeah,
it's if, because of the low income
yeah.
requirement from the candidates that they would hire.
It continues as is, and if Catholic Charities can do this program, then I'm in for it. If they can't, I don't want to just cut it. But if Catholic Charity can, I have no problem with that.
Well, they're gonna try, let's put it this way. The paperwork's gonna be filled out, and they're gonna try.
Okay, now you're cutting out a week. The swimming lessons, you wanna cut that week, the swimming lessons and everything is done before August 16th, right?
Well, generally speaking, swimming lessons are Saturday mornings, okay?
Mhm.
So every Saturday, okay, except maybe the opening day, which would be this Saturday, all right? The lessons are there. So in that week, okay, 1 day of swimming lessons would be cut in August. So do I have authority to kind of move ahead with one, okay, and see how that develops?
Yeah.
Okay? So can I have a motion on the Waverly Youth Program plan? Jim makes the motion, okay, Billy seconds it, all those in favor? And of course, I will inform the board as how that works out, okay? How about the other two? Jim?
Suppose that we make those cuts. Something, it's unfortunate, but if we don't have money, and it's something, I don't know if it's the best place for it to come from, but I don't know, you have to tell us what the other options are.
Yeah, we're gonna make more cuts than this, okay? So you're making a motion on both 2 and 3?
I am.
Okay. A second? All right, there's no second. We're done then. All right. Where else are we gonna make cuts? Any ideas?
Point of information,
Yes.
that we asked the medical center to increase their rental fee.
No, we have not. We have not. Okay. But that's a thought, okay? Can I have a motion, okay, that I have the authority to approach the medical center, okay, given, okay, increased costs, okay, would they be willing to pay more? I need a motion in a second.
Can you do that during, they signed the contract, right, for a year?
Right, but don't forget, their contractual year starts January 1st, okay? So
So this will start in January then?
I would say we couldn't ask for that immediately, but ask for January 1st,
Yeah, okay, yes.
okay? It'd be nice if we could do it immediately, but I don't know,
I don't think you can do
that
that.
would fly, okay?
They have a contract.
Yes, they have a contract. So that's a good idea for next year.
We had a motion by Tim and second by Bill.
Okay, all those in favor of approaching the medical center? All right, it passes.
You have an amount in mind, or? I'm not sure, what do they pay now, $1,000 a month?
Yes, they pay $1,000 a month. 1,500?
A big jump.
But what's their electric increase? I mean, we can take a look at what the major electric here is, they're using electric heat. So it's not gas and not,
Right, it's electric heat, okay. So it's heat and lights. What do you think?
I don't know, that just seems like a
They're
lot.
probably 1,500, okay, $500 increase is probably too much. Maybe 1,300.
I mean, you're charging them 1,500 for that, and the bus driver's only paying, a little over 2,000 a month for that big area.
But they're a satisfied customer, so you don't want to really drive away. It's there. around the first of every month, it's there from the hospital.
Sorry, can I make a suggestion? Excuse me. A board member that wants to volunteer, and then ask for volunteers from the community and determine a figure that you need, just say $5,000 for the heck of it. And take the budget and go line by line and look down and make a recommendation then to the board after they do that, of where we can cut money. That way it's not 100% on you.
That's a good idea.
I assume there's no contingency budget in order to pay the light bill, you actually have to make cuts. There's like, because the lights went up so much.
In certain parts of every budget, there's contingency,
Right.
okay? But some of it we know, all right, because of the increase in electricity, and then the $27,000 shortfall, okay, from the lease, okay, on the bus garage, okay? Those are pretty huge, okay? Steps that have to be taken. Would you look at, Don's got a good idea.
So you have a special meeting then to go through the budget?
No, he's recommending that myself and another board member, or if two board members want to do it, look through the whole budget and then make recommendations.
And you need some help from the community too, a couple, 2 or 3, so you get better, a wide range of ideas. Personally.
I wish Cindy was here, because I'd like to see her on it, because that's what she did when, with the prison, when she was in the finance and all the booking and all that, so. She's somebody that would be good at looking down through it. But,
Well, you
I
know.
can't nominate her.
Yes, you can, okay?
Call her on the phone.
And you know what? If she was here, she would do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Well, I'll make a motion for Cindy.
She's probably watching.
Yeah.
Right, she didn't
If
want
she-
it.
Yeah, if she doesn't want it, she'll just deny it, just.
I'll work with her. I've got the budgets now. I actually asked for them. I wanted to see
Yeah,
what we had
yeah.
for 3 years. So I have that here. I was trying to scan it in though to use AI to compare it, but the printed version and AI don't get along well.
Yeah, Tim would be good, yeah. There you go.
Well, is there a community member? Are we interested in a community member?
Yeah, if anyone.
My wife will do it.
No,
How about you, Lawrence?
I'll volunteer.
Can we do that?
Okay. So we'll have a budget review committee, okay? Okay, Cindy Durant, Don Key, Kim Whitlow, okay? And Kim,
And possibly Cindy, right?
yeah, and Cindy, she's in, right? So let's have a motion and a second for that committee. All right, Billy makes the motion, Tim seconds it, all those in favor? Do we want to set a date? Or maybe need to wait for Cindy before we set a date?
Wait for Cindy, yeah.
Okay.
I can do
So
that.
within the next 2 days, we'll set a date.
I can leave my email and her phone number, so whenever somebody wants to.
If you send me your email, I can give you the 3-year budget going back.
Yeah, please.
You say you have a paper copy?
Yep.
Could you make me a copy of it?
Yep, I can copy it and make you a copy.
Or because it's easy for me to make those.
Yeah.
Okay, because we got the copy.
Okay.
here, and the QuickBooks program. And everything.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. We'll make copies. And you'll get it. Anything else on that? All right, possible approval of an additional staff member to work the beach. This young man wasn't gonna return, but he decided, okay, that he's gonna work this summer. So I'm looking to, appoint Chester Damon, okay, as senior lifeguard at $18 an hour.
Do we need him? Do we? are
Oh,
we
yeah,
sure?
yeah.
Okay, that's not good.
We need him, okay, we need him,
That's pretty easy.
okay. Tim makes the motion, Jim seconds it, all those in favor? All right, he's appointed. All right, the Tisdale Associates contract for the sewer repairs in the highway and bus garage, all right, is, both of the issues that our attorney had with that contract, okay, have been changed, all right? And so he's happy with it and I'm happy with it.
Now, the title contract, is this just the design or the actual work?
It's design,
Okay.
okay, and advertising, bids, okay, all right? And then, when that's all done, then we collect the bids from contractors.
Do we have to put the design up to bid though? I mean, how much money?
No, they're gonna do the design,
Okay,
they're gonna do the design first, okay? And they'll do the advertisement to solicit bids for us. So I'm looking for a motion in a second. Jim makes the motion. Tim seconds it. All those in favor? Tisdale Associates, the contract is approved. Possible approval of a contract with Joe's Masonry for $3,500.
we've already done it anyways, right? So it's
Well,
kind of retro.
Yeah, well, the board
Retroactive.
needs to retroactively approve, okay, what I did.
This is all gonna be reimbursed anyway through the.
Yes.
Vehicle insurance.
Yes, yes. The vehicle's insurance company is gonna reimburse us for this, okay? So, but of course, we pay it up front, and we're gonna get it.
Get-
Well, I submit it to our insurance company, then they give it to that guy's insurance company, and we're gonna get a check, okay?
Make a
So it's
motion.
gonna be, the total cost will be beyond that, because, all right, there was cleanup to prepare the area, okay? Then painting is gonna have to be done, so paint has been purchased, okay? And so and Jared's got hours in there connecting the water line, okay, and the sewer line, so we're gonna be billing them more than $3,500.
Hey, Ernie, I just got a question on that. Do you guys require the contractors provide you with a WH 347?
Is that,
It's a report that states what he pays himself and what he pays his employees. It has to be done to prevailing wage. It's a municipality.
we have submitted that, okay?
So it's public knowledge that I can go in and I can see that W 347 then?
I haven't filed it yet.
It's
okay?
under the Copeland Act.
Right.
So
We've done that with other contractors too.
how many was there today, Billy? Just one
What's that?
working down there today?
I didn't see when they were working. I come back by after they started. I
There
don't
was
know.
two, one initially, okay, and then there was a second guy that showed up
So yeah.
later. So there were
He's gotta
two,
provide you with a 347, whether it's just one guy working there or two guys or a whole crew of guys. That states that he's paying himself plus his helper, at least, I think it's right around $60 an hour. So, and it has to be signed and dated by him and submitted to you. That all falls underneath the Copeland Act.
Right, we did that for the Modine that we installed, okay, in the bus garage. There were repairs, okay, in the sewer treatment plant, we did that there. Right, and it comes from him, okay?
Yeah, he's gotta submit
And
that
then-
to you weekly.
And then he gives it to me and then I file it.
I can guarantee you, they're making well over prevailing wage, quit that little bit of work, yes.
Well, I'm just stating that
Yeah.
it's a prevailing wage job. And New York State laws says that they have to provide a 347.
It'll be done. I need a retroactive approval, okay? And there's 3,500. Billy makes the motion. Jim seconds it. All those in favor? All right, we're looking at changing our hours for the 4th of July weekend. So the plan that I'm asking the board to approve is that the town offices will be open Monday, the 29th of June, Tuesday, the 30th of June, and Wednesday, July 1st. And then the town offices will be closed, all right, on Thursday, July 2nd, and Friday, July 3rd. Jim makes the motion. Tim seconds it. All those in favor? All right. So those will be the town hour for the week before the 4th. Next item, all right, possible approval of a public hearing on Monday, July 27th, to consider the adoption of local law number 1 of 2026, which would allow the town of Waverly to override the tax cap for the fiscal year of 2027. Jim makes the motion. Tim seconds it. All those in favor? All right, so we'll do legal notice, okay, that there will be a special hearing. That hearing will occur first, and then we'll have the regular board meeting after, on the 27th of July. Public and board comments. Felix?
Yeah. Tim mentioned about the mechanics, working in the garage over there. I went to last Tuesday's school board meeting, and I specifically asked the board why they canceled the lease agreement with the town of Waverly. One of the things was, with no heat. I said that had been addressed. The sewer was, they didn't have any toilet, and I said that is being addressed. They said leaks. I said those were taken care of. I said there was an additional leak that came about, and they also, I addressed the board president and asked her if it was good business practice to surprise Ernie at the board meeting, that a week previously, they had canceled the lease agreement with the town of Waverly. She said, absolutely the town should have been notified. So, and then another thing was, the increase was excessive. And it was a little less than 4%. And I said, you feel that's excessive, a little less than 4%? And didn't get much of a comment.
The increase was not the deciding factor. It's still good leak in parts, there are still air vacant.
Excuse me?
It still leaks in parts, there's air to the
Why
outside,
don't you let me finish?
and the heat is,
Anyway, you mentioned that they do, well, let me finish first on what I was bringing up here. The other thing was all other school districts have their buses outside. I don't know if they all have them outside, if there's some in, most school districts have a bus garage. Or they lease space somewhere where they can work on them, wash them. So, I don't know what's gonna take place now. They're gonna be stuck out in the snowbank, and, how you gonna hose them off? How you gonna hose salt off? And anyway, they told me, the mechanic, that we don't have a mechanic here. They told me that they've been bringing it to Malone for mechanical repairs.
they're renting their space in Malone. They have mechanics, they are fixing it in Malone because.
They have been doing it. This isn't something new. They've been doing mechanic work in Malone.
Not a lot without the pit. The pit is considered dangerous now and not safe to go into.
But it sounds like to me that they just wanted to, cancel it and, for $28,000 a year. I think it's a hell of a deal. When you can be inside, you haven't got to worry about, they're gonna have to bring in somebody an hour early, at least, to get the buses warmed up,
Yeah, sweep them out.
removing the sleet off.
Yeah.
And you know, Sandwiches Falls, you go 10 miles down the road, we get sometimes daily snow here, where other places 10 miles down the road doesn't. So
And how much is that gonna cost in overtime and extra? It's gonna be more than $27,000.
So I think they're gonna live to regret it.
Yeah.
So, my next thing is, Billy, you mentioned last meeting that, Jeff got, a grant for here and it took in the doctor's office. That doctor's offices was paid by Allen Tower.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it come under,
No, Jeff got grants to remodel them here, chairs and desk and air conditioners and
you're
stuff.
absolutely right. Now that you said
Allen
that,
Tower.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Now I think about it, I was wrong. You're right.
And, on the water to sewer. Everybody in the sewer district is not in the water district. Therefore, you cannot transfer money from water to sewer, it's illegal. That you can check tomorrow with the, Association of Towns, that is strictly illegal to take, because you're taking money out of water and giving it to sewer, and in the future, it's gonna increase costs to people that are on the water that aren't in the sewer district. And the last thing I have is the highway superintendent. Now is the time, if you wanted to go from the elected position to an appointed position. The town would have to draft a local law doing away with the elected position and having an appointed position. And then you would have to have a public meeting on it, and after the public meeting, you would vote to go with it or not. And you've gotta get this all done before September, so it can be on November's ballot.
You're absolutely right, Lawrence. I looked into the same thing, and for some aspects,
I think it's a good idea, because then they have to answer to somebody. The town supervisor has to answer to us. The other positions should be written like that. They should have, the highway supervisor should be answered to somebody. And you're right, a public referendum, I think, when I looked up, said they had to have a public referendum or something to go from elected to appointed.
That's all I got.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Would it be beneficial for the town to do quick claim deeds along the river roads? And then have the assessor go up and assess them the way that they're supposed to? Because you're paying $500 for the lot fee. You're charging the campers a lot more for that. They have a camp up there all year long. You know, and you look at a lot of these places up along there that aren't taxed the way they should be. Huh?
We pay school and town tax.
Not like, there's a lot of houses, I'm not saying yours is small, but there's a lot of places on that river road that are tax minimal. And they're supposed to be supposedly seasonal rental, some of these places that are, and they're being rented out to people that live there all year long. I didn't know if it'd be beneficial for the town to do quick claim deeds, and then the town wouldn't have to worry about any of this stuff with the APA or any of that stuff.
Years ago, they looked at anything, Mark, and I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, there's areas up through there that they don't even know.
Really?
It's a gray area.
Yeah.
The lease lots and everything, and you start getting into that, you're gonna find out that there's a world of trouble up there. That's why I think it stayed the way it is right now, is because you open that up, it'd have to be surveyed.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to go up there and survey that whole road.
Right.
You'd be in a lot of trouble. But a lot of the nicer places you see up there, if it's farther back than 50 feet from the center of that road, they own their property.
Right. But I mean, there's a lot of.
Oh, I see a lot of the new ones. You're absolutely right.
You know,
But they pay school tax and everything else.
yeah, but I mean, it's a lot different. Like a lot of them places, if they went to sell it, a lot of people are asking a lot of money.
Absolutely.
You know, and then you look at their assessment, and it's, $10,000, but they're asking $300,000 for to sell it.
Yeah.
You know,
Waterfront.
Yep.
Well, I think if we're in the landlord business, which the town is, correct? You have all these people breaking leases that the leases, we have several leases that are broken right now, we're aware of that, you're not enforcing the lease, that's the issue. I mean, so we have plenty of rental properties up there. Then we have an assessor who's saying he's not gonna assess the properties, he's not going back to assessing the properties that they should be assessed. And that's all I got.
And, are we still paying Tony $2,000 a month for water and sewer?
No,
We finished done doing him?
he voluntarily agreed, okay? We're only paying him for water, okay? And he's given us the sewer supervision as a freebie for the rest of the year. So that's been cut in half.
Right, but we're still paying him when we're paying another guy also.
Yeah.
So.
But again, because of the licensing, okay, we gotta have Tony, okay? While Chad's working toward his license, all right?
Jared.
Jared.
So going back to Jimmy's deadlines for this river road, I mean, we should have a deadline for this as well, right? It's been over a year, right? Has it been over a year? There should be a deadline to when that.
All right, so in the fall, the APA did their evaluation.
I'm talking about a deadline for Jared. I'm going back to his comment about deadlines. I'm talking about the deadline of when he should have to have his license before something else takes place. We shouldn't be paying two people. We should just be paying one person.
He's taking college courses, okay, this summer, okay, so. Progress is
There
being
should have been
made.
a timeline on it to have the college courses done. I mean, we're paying extra money, and we're talking about budget cutting, and we're paying extra money for something one guy should be doing. We're paying two guys. It doesn't make sense. You know, you should have had a timeline. Listen, if you don't get your degree within this, you're out.
You know, when you look for water and sewer people, you don't have choice of 15 from this tree and from this tree to come and work here in St. Regis Falls and have the license, okay? So, and through civil service, there are people, okay, who pass the civil service exam, and when you tell them, we have a part-time position in St. Regis Falls, they're not interested, okay? You know, just to come in and work part-time, all right? So it's like trying to find certified teachers. Sometimes in certain subject areas, it's extremely difficult, all right? So, I know it's not a good situation, all right? But we're making progress with the licensing. It's not that we're standing still. Efforts are being made. Anything else?
For the Town History Museum, we've applied through the Cloud Splitter Foundation for a foundation grant to put heating and cooling in there as well. So that's in the process.
Well, that'd be great.
Because our artifacts and everything, and our visitors that go there, you stand there looking at the pictures, the displays. Last summer, I know it's hard to get greeters to be there to open the place because it's so hot. You're sweating from head to toe. And with even fans blowing and everything, doors open, the whole shebang. So that's something where in the long term also, we need to build into our budget. Building a brand new building from the bottom up and abandon that one. Let it be given back to the campsite because this one is not vermin proof, it's not insect proof, doesn't have heat and cold climate control. So that also needs to be put on the radar soon. And the building itself was built in '67. So next year it'll be 70 years old. If you look at it, everything's settling. The back wall, the beams out there, and also the logs are deteriorating, they're rotting. So it doesn't owe us very much anymore.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a valid point. Anybody else?
Yeah, I was approached by some individuals that got pontoon boats and are on the river, and the dock over here is horrible. It's unsafe. And these individuals want to build a good dock. They're going to pay for the material and everything to build a dock where they can bring the boats in and everything else. I talked to Corey to see if he could find. The firemen used to have they called it the fireman dock. It was a beautiful dock over there where boats can pull in and stuff. But we're trying to get some pictures of that. They're going to come up with a plan, and I'll show the board where they want to build this dock, and we see if we can get permission for them to build the dock over there. But like they said, they're going to do all the labor. They're going to pay for all the material. We'll see if we can get it to go to.
So is it a permanent fixture?
Yeah.
All right, so they have to get APA approval too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to get it all, but
APA and DEC.
yeah, and if you look, it used to be a beautiful dock over there. The fireman dock was nice. It was long, 4 or 5 boats could pull into it. It was a beautiful dock.
This is over across the river?
Yeah, no, right over here. The one that was over here. You don't remember the old fireman dock? Remember at one time it was a nice dock? Long, and you could pull the boat into it wicked.
Just make sure you get both APA and DEC.
Oh, yeah.
Those two companies don't talk to each other, I found out.
Without a doubt, they'd have to have all the permits, the permission, but they're just some individual, and there's a lot of traffic now on the river, the pontoon boats and stuff, and come down there, it's good for the thing. A lot of them will come down and go down to the store and everything else, so. If we can get it approved, it would be something nice for the town.
They don't agree to it. Didn't get it ready.
All right.
One last thing, I've been asked about the banners. The high school banners are coming down this week, and before the 4th, the banners will be up.
Very good, thank you. Anyone else? All right, the board's gonna take a vote to go into executive session to, plan for collective bargaining. I need a motion and a second from the board. Tim makes the motion. 40 seconds and all those in favor, we're going into executive session. Good night.
Yeah, John Paul told me that you doing the bathroom. I said, just how's he going? You only do 4 hours a week. Yeah. Keep up the good work out there.
Number 3, I think, last year.
And I just wondered if they know. If you see the channel and all that gravel and everything. I don't know.
And they find him.